Hello, welcome back to the interface. My name's Alex and this is the infotainment guide for the brand new Omoda 9 SUV. Now this car has got a really decent sized infotainment screen actually, and we've got two screens about the same size, one for the driver and one for the infotainment. And it's actually got quite a few impressive features. Now what you're looking at right now is actually the home screen. It doesn't actually look like the home screen, but that is what it is. We've got a few card style apps here. So one is for the music, one is for the car controls. You've got the battery level on the car, and we've also got the ability to lock and unlock the doors. We can also make this app full screen, and that takes you to that app itself. So the home screen is essentially like widgets based. If we swipe down from the top, we get some little shortcuts for controlling various aspects of the vehicle. So charging, adjusting the heads-up display, the brightness here, Wi-Fi, and all those various little features like a control center on your phone. If we swipe up from the bottom, that is for your air conditioning. Now, thankfully on the Omoda 9, Omoda have put loads and loads of physical controls in. So down here we've got one for the heating and the air conditioning, and everything that you need is actually physical, but you can control everything from the touchscreen if you want to. So we've got some more nuanced details like steering wheel heating controls, syncing the air conditioning itself. We swipe up again, we've got heated windscreen, recirculation, and then also the air quality inside. So this is most likely the PM 2.5, so outside and inside, and it seems like the air is relatively clean. We've got seat controls here, so got ventilated seats, heated seats as well on both seats in the front. We click this button here. In the back seats as well, we've got heated seats and ventilated seats as well. So it's a really premium options for the seats themselves. And also for the settings for the air conditioning, we've got automatic cabin ventilation, automatic cabin air cleaning, customized air conditioning, so low, mid or high, and also automatic air purification, which is a really nice thing to see, and automatic defogging. So some nice little luxury items in there that you wouldn't necessarily see on most cars really. Now, we've just looked at the home screen. In the top left-hand corner, we've got the time, the 4G connection for either the car itself or your phone. Not overly clear which one that one is. The volume, Wi-Fi, and then Bluetooth. And in the top right corner, there's a button here which looks like a TikTok icon, but it is just music. If we go back to the main screen, it's a shortcut to music, and then not logged in. I would imagine there's an account-based system for this vehicle, probably along with an app as well, and you can probably log into that kind of system. It looks like that is what it is. Along the bottom, we've got some shortcuts to recently used apps or most used apps. So this one here, it's like a lightning bolt, is for your energy management. So this vehicle is a plug-in hybrid vehicle, but it can do around 100 miles or so on batteries alone. So that's a really good option, but there are some options in there to choose what the car's doing. So this option here is your energy flow. So you've got the big battery in the bottom there, a motor on the rear axle, a motor on the front, and also the combustion engine in the bonnet. So when you're driving along, that will show you where the energy is going. If we click on this button here, that's the energy consumption. So it's actually saying 950 miles of total mileage since the car was registered. I've got 702 miles of range. And then the last 50 kilometers, it tells you what you've been doing. So 24.9 miles per kilowatt hour, 61 mpg, and the average mpg has been 53. Also, whoever has used the car previously, it says after you reset it, we've used this amount of energy and this amount of fuel. So it's pretty decent there. We've got power management. So there's initial, smart, or forced for when the best time is to charge the vehicle. So it says intelligently select the best time to charge the vehicle to achieve a balance between economy and power. So you can choose what the car is going to do for you. There's also some options for charging and discharging. So what you can do is connect just a standard Type 2 socket to the car, and you can say charge the vehicle now, or if you've got a overnight tariff for your electricity, you can schedule the charging to best suit whenever the cheapest is for that. So there are some nice options in there, and you can say, yeah, do this at 11 PM for 6 hours, and that's the default option in there. There's also a discharge option, which is grayed out, and you can say discharge between this time. That to me seems like a vehicle to load type system or vehicle to grid. I will put on screen the exact details of what this car's got, but just on first impressions, that seems like what that offers. There's also some other settings in here, so you can say, you can set your own departure time. So when the charging gun is connected, you tell the car when you're most likely to leave in the morning, and it will get the car ready for you. So it'll heat the battery pack and also activate the air conditioning. So that's some nice options as well. And then energy recovery intensity, so you've got low, medium or high, and that will be for your regen braking as well. Battery display settings is battery level, standard or dynamic. There are some options in there to say exactly how it's going to work out the range, so based on WLTP or based on how you're actually driving the vehicle as well. And also driving mileage display, that will be total, HEV or EV. And then lastly, there is an eco mode, so that will save some energy in different areas basically. So whether that be by adjusting the ambient lighting, the screen brightness, the volume, or different things. I'm not really sure how much energy they'll actually save, but it probably does add up to some amount anyway. Also down here there is a music icon, and this launches the radio, and you've got AM, FM or DAB. So this view I'm in right now is DAB. And you can set a favorite radio station, switch between different options. If you click on this button up here, which is a square with some little arrows on it, this allows you to switch between the different radio options, so either AM, DAB, FM, or also you've also got the favorites you've selected in there, so that's pretty good. If we go back to the radio itself, well, actually, if we click on this orange button, you can switch to Bluetooth music or local music if you've got a SD card or something connected to the USB port, so you can choose some local files. If we go back to the radio station I was on a second ago, there are some settings in here, so you can say service following. So if you've picked up a radio station via DAB and you lose DAB signal, it will then switch itself seamlessly over to FM if you want to. Announcement settings, alarm, road traffic flash, transport flash, warning service, news flash, all different options in there for different types of traffic announcements that interrupt the radio service to let you know what's happening in the world. The other option is the vehicle settings. So there's a nice little shortcut to that from the main screen that's visible all the time. And this is all the settings related to the vehicle itself. So the first one you've got is vehicle settings. And these are some convenience features essentially. So steering force, this one is either comfort, sport, or comfort or sport actually. It's got an infinite list of both options, which is really weird. You can enable that on or off. We've also got the option for easy entry, exit seat. So in most luxury cars, what happens is when you get out the car, the seat will move away for you so you can get out the car a bit easier. Same thing goes for this Omoda 9 as well, so you can enable those features. Some people might not like that option though. You can also set the opening height of the tailgate or the boot itself. So if you click on these three dots, you can say 100% increments of 5 all the way down to, let's see how far this goes, 50% by the look of things. Again, same sort of thing as the driver mode, you've got infinite list of stuff. You've got door lock settings as well. So you can choose when you lock the doors what happens. So either the lights flash, or the lights flash and the horn goes off. So some options in there. You've got automatic lock, so it kind of does what it says. Unlock driver's door only. You've got wireless charging. Forgotten phone reminder, so that will, when you turn the car off, it will tell you that you've left your phone behind. You've also got steering wheel button customization, vehicle settings. So there's some buttons on the screen, so you can choose what those kind of buttons do, much like a Genesis. You've got some shortcuts so you can pre-program yourself. Cars seem to have that option a bit more often now, and it's quite nice to have some customization in terms of what things do in the vehicle. You've got power off, so it says you can just power off the vehicle. That's quite easy to do. Maintenance reminder, maintenance reset, traction mode. So this will be, that's just turning off the traction control. Weird, it's worded weird, but that is what that does. Wiper sensitivity, you've got level 1, 2, 3 or 4. And also suspension LI, if we click on more information here. Suspension mode, okay, so normal, mid or sport, and that you could turn it on or off there. Next option is the smart key. So you've got some nice options in here. So you could unlock the whole car when you approach the vehicle. That's very similar to a lot of Kia systems. You can turn on the smart key for opening the boot itself. You've got the NFC key service. Not very clear what this does because this option has nothing in there, but just on first impressions, I would imagine that Omoda give you an NFC key card, much like a Tesla, or potentially you can use it on your phone. And also welcome on approach, so the lights will come on when you walk near the car. The other option in here is driver assistance. Much like many modern cars, the Omoda 9 has a massive list of different systems on here. There must be about 15 or 20 different options. We've got forward collision on or off, automatic emergency braking, lane departure PR. Let's see what that is in there. Lane departure prevention, so that's on or off. Emergency lane keeping assist, door opening warning, blind spot detection. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but there are a lot of options in the Omoda 9 for the driver assistance features, much like any modern car. Headlight settings. We have got the adjustment on the height. Usually in other cars that's a physical switch, but in the Omoda 9 that is a on-screen option. Typically you only have to adjust that once and you don't really. So you've got options 0, 1, 2 or 3. Smart welcome light. So you can actually choose the animation pattern of the lights. So you've either got Meteor Stream, Interstellar and Milky Way DA. A lot of these options are shortened, but you can see the car does do an animation to replicate what that does. So there are some nice little options there. You've also got the option for music rhythm. So it does a little sort of animation across the whole front there, and also headlight delay, so you can add that option there as well. Nice bit of fun with the headlights. You've also got the HUD settings, or the heads-up display, so you can turn that on or off if you want to. You've got steering wheel adjustment as well, so you can adjust that with the buttons here, and brightness adjustment, height adjustment, snow mode, that will make it go blue. Heads-up display content, you can choose what's actually displayed on that screen, and you can reset the entire default settings if you want to in there. Next is vehicle comfort, so you can adjust the rear view mirror. The mirrors here in the doors, you can say do close, both, left or right, and you can automatically fold those away if you want to as well. And also in-vehicle child presence. This moves very slowly. It's probably in-vehicle child presence detection. In other vehicles I've driven, much like the BYD vehicles, it can get a bit annoying. I don't know if this will actually turn itself off after you get in the car every time. And that's it for the driving settings, or vehicle settings itself. Down here we've got the air conditioning control, so some shortcuts for that. That's all nice and easy to use. And then this one is the built-in sat-nav system, the built-in mapping system. Let's do I agree here. So this has got a nice little sat-nav system basically, so looks fairly responsive. That is really nice and smooth. Pinch to zoom works relatively well actually. It's zooming a bit quicker than your fingers are. And it tells you how many satellites are in use. You can recenter the map, set up a home address. You've got some options here for fuel stations or EV chargers. And then settings here. So you can turn off the voice guidance, which is definitely recommended. Traffic on map, show on map. Some loads of different options in there for the mapping system, and you can choose how it's displaying everything. Let's do a quick test on if it's going to tell us to fill up with fuel or get any charge in the batteries. Edinburgh is actually not far enough away for the range on this vehicle, because even with 71% battery and a full tank, it's saying 630 miles. So that is a bit far to make it do what I want it to do. We've also got this button here which takes to all the apps, which we'll look at in a second, and then this button again is the home button, which we looked at the very start of the video. So for all the apps we have got calls, which because I've got CarPlay connected, it might open CarPlay, but it is actually just opening the Bluetooth option there. Go back a second here, got New Energy, which was exactly the same as this lightning bolt option here, which we'll skip over this one. Vehicle settings we've already looked at. We've also got local settings, or otherwise known as system settings. This has got Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone to Bluetooth, got Bluetooth visibility, you can connect your phone to CarPlay, and also look at the other devices which are nearby. We've also got Wi-Fi here, so you can connect the car to a Wi-Fi network and download updates if you need to, or look at the app, essentially, when you haven't got any mobile phone signal. Sound settings, so you've got volume adjustment, so you can choose which kind of things are the loudest, so calls, voice, navigation, or media, loads of options in there. Default volume, speed compensated volume, so the car will get itself a bit louder, or the speaker system will get a bit louder depending on how fast you're driving, and compensate for any road noise or tyre roar or whatever that kind of stuff is. Alarm tone type, you've got technological, traditional or trendy. So there are some different options in there, if you can hear that over the microphone. Advanced EQ, so someone has been in here and set custom, which is of course full bass. So we just do classic here, that's basically nothing. Advanced sound effects. So we have got a very, very impressive sound system in the Omoda 9. The speakers everywhere in the interior, and you can choose what area in the vehicle have the sound displayed to them. So you can say all passengers, just the front seats. You've got a sleeping mode, which is useful for your kids, and also just a back seat mode. And there is a custom mode as well if you want that. Got loudness settings, that's on or off. We've got a headrest speaker, public share, drive share, or private share. There is no tone, the sort of tooltip to say what that does. Touch tone is on or off, and then incoming call announcement is on or off, and you can reset the car back to its factory settings for the sound system settings in general. We've got voice. So what is this one? So we've got a continuous dialogue time. So it says when enabled, the system responds to voice commands without waking up. That's off 10, 15, or 20 seconds. Sound source localization. So whenever you ask, say, hello Omoda,
here,
depending on who has asked the voice assistant, it will only put the sound through the speakers closest to that person, which is quite clever. We get rid of that now because that's going to listen to everything I've been saying and try and respond to it.
Sorry, this function is not supported.
There we go. You've got a voice wake up, so you can choose what that's going to ask for. I think it is listening to everything I'm saying now. There we go. Display voice commands, so when you ask it various things, it will display what you're asking. And there's various privacy bits and pieces in there as well. Display, so you can say auto, day or night, because it is a bit gloomy today. It has defaulted to the night mode, and so you can say day mode, which hasn't done anything. Oh, okay, it was actually in the day mode. So the day mode is dark blue, and the night mode is black, and it's a sort of copper color as well. And there are some brightness settings in here as well. So you can choose the brightness of the instrument display or the infotainment as well, and there are some auto brightness options in there as well. Screen cleaning mode, so it makes itself black so you can see all the smudges and fingerprints. If you hold down for 5 seconds, that will exit that mode essentially, and allows you to see how dirty the screen is if you need to. And then also, like the other displays we've looked at, restore default values as well. We've got system settings in here, so we've got language settings, we've got English in there, and there are probably some other options, like there's various options for Europe, not many actually. You can choose the date format, so you've either got American or English or whatever. 24-hour system, 12 hours or 24 hours. Automatically update the date and time, probably with our GPS or via 4G, depending on how that's done. And you can enter the date and time if you want to. You can also choose the types of fuel consumption, the unit settings for miles or kilometers, tire pressure, and also the software versions and how much storage the car has got. Quite weirdly, we've actually got 128 gigs of onboard storage. Quite likely you can upload files to the car. And there's a privacy policy and all that sort of stuff in there as well. Very lastly, we've got the device manager. So I've got one device connected, that is my iPhone for Apple CarPlay, but you can also connect Android Auto as well. If we go back here, we've got video. So nothing on the car at all, but if you plug in a USB device, I would imagine you can watch videos on the screen. Got audio, and that will be some settings for the FM radio like we just looked at earlier. Got OTA, which is over-the-air updates. Everything is up to date, which is nice. Atmosphere lamp, so I'll put some panning images on screen, but we have got some ambient lighting in the car. Nice little LED lights that run across the entire interior, and we can choose the colour, but also the animation as well, and the zone. All quite nice. Electronic manual, like many car infotainment systems I've looked at over the last few years, the car companies are starting to put the infotainment, the car companies are starting to put the manual in a digital format on the screen, which is really useful because you might have lost your manual. So that's nice there. You've got pictures, so if you upload pictures to the car, you can look at those if you want to. APA, so yeah, it'll auto park the car by itself, reverse by tracking, parking space selection, and train parking. I'm not going to do that now because I'm parked on some AstroTurf. Got a round view monitor, so by the look of things, we have got a 360-degree camera system on the car, so we can look at all the cameras on the car, and actually, just judging by these images, they are really, really high res. They don't look amazing because it is quite a grim day today, but they look like a really, really good system, and it does all stitch them together for a 3D view if you want to as well. Nav, which we looked at earlier, member center. So if you've got an account for the Omoda, you can log into that and use the various functions that has. Android Auto, which we won't look at. Map ISA. So that's just telling you what software versions everything on. So, and then lastly, Apple CarPlay. So that's been a very brief look at the infotainment system on the new Omoda 9 and all the functions that this car has. If you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing to Interface Cars. My name's Alex, and I'll see you again next time.